Welcome to Turmeric and Tequila with your host, Kristen Olson. Questioning a better way, one gracefully disruptive conversation at a time.
Welcome to Turmeric and Tequila. Today is going to be an amazing one, per usual. It is just going to be me and you. And it's been a minute since we've done a solo cast, so I'm excited to be here with you. Even though I'm alone right now, I know you're in spirit thinking about Turmeric and Tequila in your spare time because that's what fun varsity people do. Today, we are going to talk about Botox. As you know, Turmeric and Tequila is here for positive radical social evolution, changing things one gracefully disruptive conversation at a time. Hence the sweatshirt. If you can see this on YouTube, check out that channel, by the way, it's up. And we swim in the deep end of the pool all the time. However, I want to put our toe in the shallow end of the pool for a minute and talk about Botox, vanity, what it is, why, what to expect when you're considering getting Botox, the underlying takeaway, which is, we got to take care of the inside before the outside. However, I also try and listen to feedback about the show, what people want to hear about, questions that I get, and I get a lot of amazing feedback. All of it's welcome. And it's amazing to see how many people wanted to know about Botox. I laugh about it and I joke about it, and I strategically do that because I think it's really important that our young people say, if they're like, oh, you look a certain way. Well, here's what I do. I actually do highlight my hair and I do Botox, and you can love it or hate it or whatever. I just, again, like transparency. I don't like that massive filtered moving target for our young people to shoot for, and it's been enhanced. So I love it. I think Botox is a great thing, but let's break it down a little bit. A lot of people have a lot of questions on why, again, when do I get it, etc. So we're going to dive right in and talk about, I'm a little out of breath. I did a really hard workout this morning and I'm still smoked like 12 hours later. So that's a sign that we got to up the fitness here. And also on that note, again, Turmeric and Tequila, we love the health wellness. And then, we love the tequila and the party and the Botox. So we're going to break it down. And if you have questions after this, feel free to shoot me a message or anything. I've been doing it for a while and it's a lot of, who you need a good injector and everything, but we'll break it down. So what is Botox? It's a drug made from a toxin produced by Bacterium Clostridium botulinum. That's 100% wrong, I'm sure, but that's the technical name. Doctors, this is what I told you to call him. Long story short, that's what Botox is. And it's the same toxin that causes a life-threatening type of food poisoning called botulism. So essentially, Botox is botulism. And what it does is it causes paralysis in the muscle. So it's really more of a preventative measure than it is a filler, which we'll talk about those as well. So you would likely get Botox if you want to, freeze some of the muscles in your face so it doesn't wrinkle. And there's balance to that. As we age and we get older, you want to avoid, or if you do want to avoid crow's feet or, just general signs of aging, Botox is an awesome, cheap situation. With that, there are some things you want to know about it because it is, it's not just doctors that inject Botox and fillers. It can really be anyone. Dentists are doing it now. I'm not saying anyone's not good at it, but you really got to do your research on who's injecting you and whatnot. And here's a couple of things. We'll just stick with the what. That's, technically what it is. So Botox is botulism in a nutshell. You can dig into the science. We won't go there on this cast, but you can dig into the science on your own. There's actually a plethora of knowledge in one click on Google. But Botox, what else is it used for besides smoothing the appearance of wrinkles? It is really a modern medical miracle. It's used in tons of stuff, including neck spasms. Cervical dystonia is another word for neck spasms. We're going to sound smart today. Excessive sweating, hyperhidrosis, overacting bladder, lazy eye, and chronic migraines. So those are just some of the things that were used, that Botox was used for long before it was a cosmetic vanity situation. However, Botox is actually a brand name. It's kind of like phenomenal marketing, like the way we call Kleenex tissues, where the brand just kind of took over. Really, it's a nose tissue, whatever we call it, Kleenex. Botox Cosmetic is actually a company. So now that it's kind of been branded Botox, that's what everybody calls it. But there are two companies in the mix. One is Botox Cosmetic. The other is Dysport. And we'll talk about those in a minute. Why are we getting, Botox? What's going on? What's the difference? Again, I said it's different than fillers. It's really about prevention. And I always say prevention is extension. You can apply that with Botox and your wrinkles. You can apply that with sports. You apply it with nutrition. The more you warm up for something like sports wise and get your body warm, get ready to go, and you're kind of preventing injury that extends the use of your body. Nutrition wise, preparing food, getting things right, doing stuff your own way so you're healthier long term, you're avoiding major medical bills so you can then afford Botox. Obviously, so if you're kind of in that prevention is extension zone, if it's medically necessary, consult your doctor. Again, talking about lazy eye and some of those other examples I gave you. And then of course vanity, which is again smoothing out the wrinkles. Here are some things on what I almost want to be like, does anyone have any questions? But again, no one's live. We're going to get there to that, by the way, but I'll just keep referencing like it's happening mid-cast, even though it's not. So feel free to just shout it out in the car if you know. What you should know before you're getting Botox done. As I mentioned before, really get to know the doctor or injector well. Go on, read their Google reviews, ask your friends. There might still be some stigma around admitting that you get Botox or not. I don't think it's a big deal. I think way more people do it than they talk about, but some people don't like to admit that they dye their hair, or, they're like, oh, are you 50? And they're like, no, I'm 45. And they do Botox and they don't want it. I mean, whatever. I think our younger generation is letting some of that go. I think it's a total privilege. If I can afford to do it and I'm excited about it, I'm going to tell you, the stigma is different for me perhaps, but ask your friends, see where they go, see who they go to, see if they liked it. I've tried several different people and some people are better at different things. It's just like fitness or nutrition or whatever, like you kind of find who you like that works for you. So get to know who you're going to. I think that's the biggest key piece. And with that, know that, the margins in these situations are huge. So people are incentivized to become injectors. And again, I don't think the process is very in depth, and that's not to take away from the doctors and physicians and injectors that really do it well, because the ones that have done reps really do know the difference. It's like a JV situation versus a varsity situation. You'll know when you get a varsity injector. But you need to ask, and you need to, I put on here, dodge the deals. There's tons of, situations where it's a bunch on Groupon or whatever. Go to the person that you can find good information, good reviews, the recommendations first, and then ask about the deals and everything else. Don't just buy Botox off Groupon and then go in and hope that it's going to be a good situation, because there are some things that you do want to be aware of. And you can Google like, will Botox kill you? Again, it's botulism. No, at the injection point, if it happened to get infected or something, there could be something random. But when I did a little bit of research, and again, you can do this, it was like 36 cases of this specific botulism recorded from 1994 or something to 2003. I mean, it's extremely rare. That being said, you can bruise. If they hit a certain nerve on your face, you can have some prolonged paralysis. So long story short, the chance of something happening are low. However, you do want to get somebody that's really, really good and knows what they're doing, because it's your face. And you don't want to mess with the moneymaker. That's, cost benefit analysis there. That's not a go. Okay. So you can bruise, avoid eating like any, or taking any blood thinners prior to your appointment, meaning, Advil or any sort of vitamins or supplements that thin your blood that, could promote bruising. I got asked, what's the appropriate age for Botox? I'm big on free choice, so I'm not going to tell anyone what to do, how to do it, or where to do it, so long as you're not hurting somebody. I think you should have the free right to free will. You are approved. I mean, legally, Botox is approved to be administered to anyone over the age of 18. I think that's personally way too early to be starting Botox and even having the train of thought of like, let's do prevention, given that if it's for a vanity cosmetic purpose. Obviously, if it's for sweating or lazy eye or something else, totally different conversation. But most people on average are taking it like in their late 20s, 30s, 40s, what have you. And again, it's kind of like that prevention. So you can start a little bit earlier. I think fillers are probably 30 plus. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. This is just someone that's used it for 10 plus years at this point, and I'm privy to the cosmetic game. That's all I've done. I haven't done anything else, just in full transparency. Nose, cheeks, boobs, nothing. I don't even do fillers on lips or anything like that, which if you can see me, these things are true. But all that stuff I think is a little bit later. Botox is the one thing I think you can do a little bit earlier because of that preventative factor. It's not that expensive. It's not that big of a deal to get it injected. I kind of think it's like, it's not a vitamin against botulism, but it's like how you take vitamins now. You might not necessarily need it, but a little bit every day I think helps, again, prolong the health and wellness. This kind of just minimizes the wrinkles, so you don't have to use as many Instagram filters. #winning. Okay, so It's approved for 18 plus. Like I said, late 20s, even later is when I think most people should do it. This is my personal opinion. There is slight pain. You should know that it's not a filler, but it will fill some lines because literally it's, liquid going into your eye zone or your face. But it does take 1 to 2 weeks for it to like fully show the effect. So if you walk out of the office and you're like, this didn't do anything, you're right. It probably didn't mean you might have a little bit of a fill in that line because the liquid's there, but it has to set in to basically paralyze the situation fully, and then you'll see the full effects in about 1 to 2 weeks. How long does it last? It's about 3 to 4 months. And again, doctors call in. I don't know if this is true, but I've heard the more athletic you are, or the more testosterone you carry in your body, which athletic women or men tend to do, the quicker it breaks down. Mine usually lasts, I want to say, like about 3 months. They say 3 to 4, and I think right about 3 months I can start to tell. Again, I've been doing this for a while, so I can tell. And I don't do a ton. I want to say I do like 30 units, or maybe some people that's a lot. I think that's a lot, but I do like in my forehead and the side of my eyes. It's pretty minimal compared to some other people that I've seen, but perhaps for other people that's a lot. So again, this is all subjective, but I can start to tell in about 3 months. And I think this might be psychosomatic, but I do think once I'm training harder and I'm kind of like back in my normal training schedule, it tends to wear off faster. I might also just be using my face muscles more. So that could be a whole podcast in itself. The average cost, this is something I would really do some research on, is about $8 to $12. Again, I said, forget the deals, but a lot like Botox Cosmetic, the company has a loyalty program called Ally, ALLE. It's brand new. It was Brilliant Distinctions. You want to sign up with that. You get points for every time you come in, and like every time you do it, you'll earn money for the next time. It's a pretty good loyalty situation. I don't know. And Dysport is the other brand. I don't know if they have a loyalty situation or not. I'm assuming they do. These are big brands, though. They've been around the block. They run their business very well. And they incentivize you to keep coming back. And I do. So it works. I think they're good. But if you're really seeking out a good deal, definitely sign up for the Allied loyalty programs. You're going to get Botox. If you're going to get Dysport, look for theirs. I have never used Dysport. I don't know if there's a difference. I've had people that love it, and some people love Botox better. If it was ever on sale or something like that at the place that I go to, I would try it. It just never has been, so I've just always used Botox. But I have people that swear by Dysport and say that it's better for them or whatever. So I would say, like nutrition, try both, see what works for you. Just have a good injector, and then be ready. The best thing I think sales wise for Botox is to shop around. Again, go with somebody that you trust, but see, it's pretty competitive. There are lots of options almost everywhere, and you can be picky. But wait for like small business days, or Botox Cosmetics run specials, or a lot of these small like boutique situations will run like email specials or whatnot. So just keep an eye out. There, no pun intended. There's a ton of incentivized situations that come out, and anything higher, $8 is pretty cheap. Anything higher than $12, I actually think is a ripoff. So I don't know, unless you're in like Beverly Hills and that's standard ops, I would question a better way right there. The Botox versus the filler. So Botox, again, prevention, it's freezing. Fillers are there to actually fill the line. So that's, it's an immediate result. You see it right away and you fill it and it's there. And usually they last longer, between 7 and 12 months. Don't quote me on that. And there's a whole list of fillers. We won't dive fully into that you can get into and do that are awesome. I have minimal experience with fillers. Again, a lot of people do them for wrinkles, but then it's also like for lips or wrinkles around the side of your mouth, or pretty much you can fill anything you want depending on what you want to do. I don't have a ton of experience there, but I do think they're awesome. You just need to know certain ones are for certain areas, and you need to be upfront and be aware of the financial investment, because fillers are a slippery slope. They're way more expensive than Botox. They do last longer, but it's one of those conversations you need to be ready to kind of get used to it. And then the more you do, the more you want, I think. It's kind of like tattoos. Not that I have a tattoo, but when you get one, you get excited and then you want your next one. I've been told that anyway. So no tattoos here, no judgment. It's just not my brand. But probably because I would get one and then want a bunch of them like Botox. So be aware of that. Again, like check into what deals and everything, are. And same as Botox, the fillers are kind of the same way. They'll go on special. They'll be $100 off. You can really shop and get some good stuff. Have a good injector, those just like Botox. Let's see, what else did I write here? I mean, that's pretty much it around fillers. Dig in. Again, there's like Voluma. There's so many different brands that are out there. We're specifically talking about Botox, which is prevention and whatnot. Fillers are kind of a different thing. But if you have a good person, an injector that you trust, you can ask them all these questions and they can start to tell you about everything else. I touched on the two brands, Botox Cosmetic and Dysport. I don't think there's another one out there, but if there is, uh, compare costs. Again, consult with the medical situation or the beauty situation that you're going into, the injectors, and see what they have to say. Ask your friends, just kind of see what else is out there. Do your own research. And the main reason I really want to talk about this is because it's, we started Turmeric and Tequila to question a better way, highlight the truth for our young humans coming up. And that's why I think it's so important to say, if you're doing something, it's real. I'm not going to pretend like someone's like, oh, are you fit? I'd say, well, yes, but I don't just go to sleep and hope that I wake up like that. I go to the gym and I consciously put in effort. And to me, Botox is the kind of the same thing. I put in effort. I do this because I want to look and be a certain way. And people can judge that any which way they want. What's important to me is just the transparency piece of what it is. So again, our young people understand like, okay, well, I want to look like this, but this is what it takes, or this, or maybe I don't want to look like this, so I don't want to do this. Whatever side of the fence you're on, there's some transparency there so they know what's going on. And when you're fixing or treating or doing whatever you want to the outside, that's great. I'm here for lashes, hair, Botox. You already know. But the key pieces, and we've said this on many, many casts, and so I'm comfortable talking about such something so shallow as Botox, because the key piece is the inner. We got to take care of the inner before you even address the outer. And any sort of internal disruption or eruption or insecurity that's happening inside, you can do whatever you want to mask the outside. It changes the energy, and it's just not going to matter until you really dial in that inside piece. So you want to take time, you want to check in, and you want to say, why am I getting Botox? Why am I dyeing my hair? Why am I doing this? And I hope the answer to all of those questions is because it's for me. It's for what I wanted. It's me, my version of my best self. And alongside that, I am keeping my mind checked in. I'm doing my meditation. I'm checking in with myself and saying, what's my happiness level? How am I feeling about X, Y, and Z? All this other, hair, nails, whatever. That's all just, again, surface level, and it quite literally is, to what the inner question is. So when people ask me, about Botox and whatever, and it's like, and I joke about it all the time, it's only because to me it is laughable. Like, it's a funny surface level situation where that's much easier of a question than being like, how was your life coaching session last week with Stephanie, or or whatever might be. That's not a true example, but just for an example, that's the hard stuff to get into. This stuff to me is just like, yes, whatever. But I think you should make yourself happy, treat yourself. If you want to change something, change it, with the caveat of, okay, before I'm doing this, why am I doing it? Who is it for? And what is this going to provide for me? So dial in with that internal piece of, I'm good. This is just, glitter on the otherwise fabulous cake, and we're good with that. It's not, to date a younger guy, or land the job that I've always wanted, or whatever. All those things externally is never going to matter. If those are the answer to those questions, please pull back and listen to any other Turmeric and Tequila cast where we talk about dialing into yourself, and just getting that internal piece together, because I promise you that internal tornado will extend that energy, and the vibrations will be off. Read the Law of Attraction book. Shout out to Andrew Catt. It won't fix anything. So you need to Botox the internal and get that correct before you can Botox the external and just put a shiny bow on it. But as always, for Turmeric Tequila, we are here for all the angles of the conversation, working to bring some transparency to the table. If you are considering Botox, holler at your girl, let me know. I'm very clear with Universe. I hope that they are a sponsor of the Turmeric and Tequila show one day, and we are working collaboratively, not only to talk about what it is, but really talk about what we're doing right now, the why, what's going on, what's the science of it. And before you do anything external, let's dial in that internal. That is all I really have for you guys today. It's a quick one. I hope everyone is doing wonderful during this holiday season. Please continue to take care of yourself. Get the internal dialed in continuously. It's the holidays. We're all, running on fumes and tequila and turmeric. So dial in, and please check out our YouTube channel. We've got the YouTube videos up from all of our casts from day one. I don't have all 70 yet, but they are coming, and they're pretty fun to check back into. And to all my guests that were down to be on the video, it's a cool, really raw conversation, and it's a little bit different when you can see it. I think it's pretty cool. So check that out. And as always, we're here for feedback. Let us know what you want to hear, what you want to talk about, questions, comments, and other positive vibes. Welcome. We will hear and see you all soon.
Thank you for joining Turmeric and Tequila with your host, Kristen Olson. Tune in next time, and don't forget to subscribe on Apple, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.